What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I just wanted to make a video about some of the drama around like my Old Town Road video about Old Town Road by Lil Nas X getting removed from the Billboard chart. It's been a really weird week because I posted that video like a week and a half ago. The response to it was really positive. It was very lighthearted. That video was called That Ain't Country. Originally the title had alternating capital and uncapital letters because it was supposed to just be silly, and the idea was I'm not trying to really claim this is and isn't country. It even says that in like the pinned comment on there. And the response was really good to it. And all the comments were about Zach Brown and King Calloway, the other subjects in that video. And then this Rolling Stone article came out about Lil Nas X's Old Town Road getting removed from the country chart. And then I've watched like the wave really turn in a totally different direction on that video, as me being a hater or me being racist or country music not getting it. And I just wanted to address all that because I'm finding myself like super anxious about it all. And I'm like, well, if this has all happened thus far in a public forum, I suppose it should be, readdressed in a public forum, and I shouldn't just sit here stewing. So the first thing I should say is that Old Town Road is a fun song. I get it. I get why it's a hit. I think he's made a smash. I think already, like, every part of their strategy and his strategy is paying off, and clearly he has like a hustle plan that is working for him. At the same time, all I was saying is that I didn't consider it a country song. But I think the optics of how people are finding my video are they're like appearing already angry, worked up about the story. They want to know what they're coming already pissed off, and then they don't realize my thing was shot before this was ever a story. I just heard the song, was like, this isn't a country song. But I think what people are assuming is like, oh, this is a fear-based decision. He doesn't believe that this should be country, and are really mad, and maybe I think they're projecting. But also, I'm sure there's things I have to learn from that. And so here's kind of how I see this story, and just some clarity that I wanted to offer some of the grievances. And granted, this channel is still like, the vast majority of the comments on this channel are still extremely positive. I think people here are country fans, and a lot of people that are mad at me are maybe passersby or people that are just stopping into the channel and they're like, you suck, I hate you, you're a racist. It feels, I feel really misunderstood. And yeah, I'm sensitive. And so no one wants to feel misunderstood. It's a pretty normal human response to want to respond. But let's just go through the story first, and I can offer some context too. So the context I want to start with is that country music fans have been divided for a long time. There are people that like where country music is and the direction it's going in of getting hip-hoppier and poppier, and there are people that hate that. Country music's had its own little like identity crisis civil war for a very long time, but it's been especially prominent in the last 10, 15 years. And there are the people that want music to go way more traditional, and they're like, you should only listen to stuff out of Texas, only Texas and Appalachia. You should only listen to Turnpike Troubadours and Tyler Childers and Cody Johnson and Randy Rogers Band. And there's people that are saying, no, you just got to embrace what's new. Sam Hunt is fusing like a Drake-ish sound with country music. That's cool. Florida Georgia Line is trying to mix kind of like hip hop and rock in with country. That's cool. And people have been very divided on it for a long time. So if this is a genre that you're not like a huge fan of, that you don't know anything about, just know that there's already been this big debate happening. And generally, I try to see both sides of it, where it's like, my taste is definitely more traditional, but I also really have an ear for pop country stuff. Not that I have an ear for good pop country. I like it, though. And generally, people are pissed at me that are more traditional, and they're like, why are you bothering to listen to Lauren Elena? Why are you wasting your time reviewing Florida Georgia Line? And so it's funny now, because I feel like now it's the exact opposite crowd that's mad at me for being too traditional. And I got to own my piece of why people are misunderstanding me. I can't be mad at them because, hey, I'm the person that presented the words I said. So that's the context, I think, of where the country debate is. And then you enter Old Town Road into the situation. Here's a song. It was not being promoted through any country music channels. It was not getting airplay on country radio stations. All it was that the metadata of this song, which was released independently before Lil Nas X was signed to Columbia, listed it as country. So he was able to choose, I want to call this song country. In the original Rolling Stone article, Danny Kang, who may or may not be his manager, the article doesn't make it clear, says they have been in communication. He says that this is a hip-hop song and that Lil Nas X is savvy and wanted to create, he understands virality and understood that there would be less competition to call this a country song. And so it feels like a chart jack. It's like, okay, well, when this blew up, suddenly it's listing really high in country music, but it was just put there by him. And that's fine. Look, I'm sure there's a lot of resentment in Nashville about the fact that they didn't produce this, and this is like their town, and they like to run, how their town is perceived, and all of the steps of the way of developing an artist and releasing an artist to radio. So I'm sure there is real resentment to an outsider having kind of jacked the system. And I think that's definitely at play here too. But it is hard to feel like super sympathetic about what seems to be a pretty intentional chart jack. So that's kind of like the context of it. Now, I said this song does not sound country to me. And I said that because it doesn't. My taste of country music is not this pop country stuff. My taste has always been a much more traditional, much more acoustic, without bass. I don't even love percussion very much in country music. I'm a traditionalist, and I do that because I love the sounds of traditional country music. And I feel like every time country music takes another step towards pop, another step towards embracing all these R&B elements, I think they're totally allowed to. I think a lot of those songs are really good. I just think that it's starting to erase from anyone's imagination what country music can sound like. So my taste is more conservative because I feel like there's a whole group of country fans that feel super underrepresented, and that their taste in liking fiddle and liking mandolin and liking pedal steel, and they're not hearing that on any of these pop country tracks, and that's what popularly people think about as country, that's just completely unrepresented, and that's a bummer for them because that's the kind of music that they love. So I don't really buy the idea that the genre is evolving, because I think if it's evolving, it's just evolving into the same general kind of sound as what so many other genres are evolving into. I feel like pop and hip hop and R&B and country are all almost going in the exact same direction. And that's boring. Then we're going to lose all that beautiful variety that makes these distinct genres special. That's not to say artists shouldn't be able to do whatever they want. I'm a huge believer. Artists, go where you want, do what you want. For me, it's not even like I care that much about the gatekeeping of this isn't country, this isn't. I know, ironic, considering I made a video called That Ain't Country. But in general, I'm much more just confused by the thoughtlessness of how we say all of these different things are country. You're like, don't words mean things? So I don't think Old Town Road is a country song, not because, and granted, this is not a hill I'm going to die on. The song's a smash. It's going to probably do well in country venues, and I get it. Hello, I've seen all the videos of locker rooms going crazy. I would do the exact same thing. This song is catchy. It has been stuck in my head many times. I can feel that way and feel like it's not country at the same time, and I don't think there's any malice in that. You know what I mean? So, because I feel the exact same way about a million pop country songs and all the ones I just mentioned before. Even how I feel, look at my video for Look What God Gave Her. That was a Thomas Rhett song that just came out, and I was like, this sounds like a Maroon 5 song. That said, it's kind of fun to listen to. That said, how is it country? So I think I'm more consistent than maybe I'm being accused of being in the comments there. And again, whatever. I am making it about me. It's my channel. But the thing that I think I can really learn from the comments in that video is just that the one thing that consistently came through is that maybe African American people don't feel welcome in the country music genre. And that does bum me out. It does. I mean, my knee-jerk response to that is to just say, yeah, but what about Jimmy Allen? He's a new star. What about Kane Brown, who's as big as you could be right now? Darius Rucker's had 9 number 1 hits. Charlie Pride's had 29 number 1 hits. And I could also see someone pointing back to me and saying, okay, cool, you named all those people on one hand. That's not that moving to me. That doesn't feel very inclusive. To which I say, okay, good point. Good point. That would be hard. So there's definitely room for me to learn on that front. And country music absolutely has a racist pieces of its history. And maybe if I never name those, then it feels like I'm just ignoring that that's ever been a problem. So there's definitely room to grow on that front. But sort of the weird insinuations that are kind of put out toward me of like, but you accept Florida Georgia Line, you accept, Body Like a Back Road, you don't question that at all. And you're like, no, that's like my whole thing is I do question that. Like every other video on this channel questions that. And doesn't throw those songs into the garbage bin. I really do feel both things. And so I think like I've been frustrated to see that kind of accusation just thrown out at me over and over and over again, because I'm a pretty open-minded listener. You'll get through way more to me by just talking than kind of assuming things that I think about, like, well, you think Post Malone should be on the rap chart. You're like, when did I say that? When have I ever commented on the rap chart? I don't. I know I said this song was a rap song. Here, that's the other valid criticism, is that this song, people saying you don't know anything about rap, valid. Very valid. I don't. Another thing, though, I want to address that's always in the comments is this idea. A lot of people saying, well, you're not country. What do you know? Yeah, I'm not country. I grew up in a suburb of Richmond, Virginia. Then I lived in New York City, and I wrote for the Entertainment Weekly. Then I had a column with The Guardian. I quit media about 5 years ago. I live in Charlottesville, Virginia now. I live in a town. I live in a townhouse, and I've never claimed to be a country person. And my definition of what makes something country has zero to do with lifestyle. I don't think you have to be a cattle rancher to make country music. I don't think you have to be a farmer to make country music. I think a Wall Street banker, I think a factory worker outside of Shanghai, I think someone that is, rounding up cattle in Australia, I think anyone can make country music. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, wherever you live. I don't think your identity defines if you can make country music or not. I have a sonic definition of what country music should be. I have a sound in mind that I hear when I hear the term country music. It's defined by stringed instruments. It's defined by simple melodies, vocal harmonies. Generally, when I imagine country, I don't hear a lot of drum in it. And it's okay if it's there. My definition doesn't matter. That's just kind of the perspective I come from. And it's hard because a lot of people agree with that definition, loose definition of what country is, but then they also have room for understanding, it's going to be influenced by hip-hop, it's going to be influenced by R&B and by rock, and the umbrella of it is big, but it's gotten so big that the genre is starting to seem so identityless that people don't even know what to expect when they're looking for like an album. They don't even know what it means anymore, and that's kind of a bummer, because it has this like distinct American sound, and it's formed out of kind of like Irish and English folk music and the blues out of slave culture. Those have worked together and created country music. And so it's a bummer to see kind of its sound disappear into nothingness. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of put all that stuff out there, say that I probably could have been clearer in that video. I think part of what I'm wrestling with is just this channel is changing really fast. 3 months ago, no one cared. I mean, there were some of you that cared. I had a little audience, and I love you guys that have been here for a long time, but it's like 10 or 11 times bigger over the course of 3 months. I still work a regular job. I didn't consider myself I thought I left media, and now it's like I'm getting sucked back in this interesting and cool and gratifying way, and I'm not always handling it very well, and I'm realizing my platform is changing, and so maybe the ways that I talk about music like should be more prepared and less off the cuff. But then I think people like when it's off the cuff, and so I don't take back anything I said. Maybe I would reframe things the way I said them. Maybe you should just accept, look, dude, sometimes you're going to be misunderstood. You're too sensitive. I know I'm too sensitive. I'm outspoken and oversensitive, which is a bad combo to be. I always joke that I should have a memoir called like I Can't Take the Heat and I Won't Leave the Kitchen. But I hate the idea that people would find my channel and think that I don't want them to love what country music is. We just might have a difference of opinion of what country music is. And that's okay. I'm open to the idea that it might, that the sound can change. I'm not one of those people that thinks it never can. I just have this weird, deep, intuitive frustration that the meaning of what anything is in country music has to be erased, and it seems like some kind of strange societal rebellion to me of like we need to just like take down the hallmarks of country music and let it expand so much that it doesn't have an identity. There's something in that feels wrong, and I think I have a knee-jerk response to it. But yeah, I don't want people to feel unwelcome in country music. I don't want people to not love this genre of music that I love a lot. And the reality is most people here on this channel love it and love talking about it, and all of the responses to all the videos, they're fun and they're nice and they're kind. And yeah, maybe I just gotta get over it. But I did feel like I should say I have nothing against that song or anyone liking that song, and I don't think it's a country song. I think that's okay. I don't know if I've even explained musically why I think that, but I did in my live stream on Friday. That's not up anymore. All right, guys. I'm just rambling. I think this probably isn't as big of a deal as I'm making it. That song's a smash regardless. He's worked the system well. Some of the insinuations going around this song are so crazy, but we'll see if I even upload this. I don't think it's going to stay up for a long time. I just wanted to have an explainer out there because I'm just feeling like I've misunderstood people and like I'm misunderstood. So, yeah. Thank you guys for listening.